Mrs. Lily Doherty heard 2 screams on the night of May 24th, 1904 that sounded like a woman's or a child's. Everybody heard when he yelled, "Damn her soul," and when he said he would leave a memorial on the North Mountain to remember Bill Robinson by. Nobody thought they meant me. My name is Theresa Balsor McAuley Robinson, and I'm standing in the foundation of what was my home that was burned to the ground in 1904. In the year 1892, my dear husband William McCully was dreadfully ill. We both knew that when he passed, there'd be no way that I could have control of our family farm. So we made a deal with one Bill Robinson. When my husband died, I would marry Bill in exchange for $500 for our family farm. Well, didn't my husband live another 8 years? And in that time, we gained 50 acres of farmland, and I ran the whole show. I was also very involved in the Berwick Register. And in 1898, the government passed the Married Women's Property Act, which now made it legal for women to hold title of their own land. When my husband did die in the year 1900, bless his soul, I should have kept my property and kept to myself. But you see, I'd made that promise to Bill Robinson. Since our agreement, Bill had become a soldier in the Union Army, but when he heard of my husband's passing, he hightailed it back to Burlington, and that's when my troubles began. You see, Bill didn't see eye to eye with my grown kids, and in particular, my oldest boy, Eustace. Bill was always accusing them of undermining our marriage and taking everything of value from the farm from themselves. All the while, Bill was trying to convince me to sell off parts of my land. Well, I didn't have to listen to him, and I was not about to sell out. Blood will be shed if she and her family don't stop meddling in my affairs. One day in the spring of 1904, my boy Eustace paid me a call when Bill was out. He wanted to talk about mortgaging a piece of the property. But Bill came home sooner than we expected. And when he saw Eustace, I just remember him going into a rage. He was coming toward Eustace, and I was screaming, "No, please, Bill, no!" He beat my boy so badly. Eustace charged Bill with assault and asked me to testify on his behalf. What was I supposed to do? He was my baby. I had to protect him. The week leading up to the trial, Bill kept booming, "Damn her soul, she's on the boy's side." He locked the doors, nailed the windows shut, and wouldn't let me see or talk to anyone. When it came time for the trial, I was terrified, but I told the judge exactly what a monster Bill Robinson really was. I should have known Bill wouldn't let me get away with it. Less than a week after the trial, I was asleep when all of a sudden I woke with a start, and there, standing in my bedroom door, was Bill. He had an axe in his hand and a crazed look in his eye. "No, Bill, please, no!" Then whack, whack, whack. Bill had won. He chopped my body to bits before stuffing parts of me into the wood stove and setting my home on fire, and then running into the woods. The next day he came back and in his weakest acting ability started asking the neighbors, "Where's Theresa? Hasn't anyone seen my Theresa?" But nobody bought it. Someone had heard my screams, although no one came to my rescue. My neighbors decided they were going to take the law into their own hands, and they formed a lynch mob. They were going to hang Bill Robinson. When Bill caught word of this, he decided he'd be safer off in custody, and he turned himself in. But my revenge is still to come. They had the trial in the King's Courthouse in Kentville, Nova Scotia. And although my body was available for evidence, they wouldn't allow it. Too gruesome. Descriptions only. Working day and night, the trial only lasted 4 days. And the jury only deliberated for 40 minutes. It took longer for the judge to read out the charges. And when Bill was charged with murder, all he could say was, "Come to the necktie party, boys." They put Bill in a cell at the back of the courthouse. He was made to watch the gallows from which he would hang, and he had to listen to every last nail being driven. Folks caught wind of this and they decided they were going to come to the execution. So the town decided they would build an enclosure and put an extra guard. They set the time for 1:30 in the morning. Folks still came and they were rip-roaring, drunk and meaning business. And as soon as the execution was over, they ripped down the enclosure and tore down Bill's body, dragging him around town, taking buttons, hair, anything that they could get for a souvenir. I guess you could say Bill got his just desserts. Because of the debauchery, Kenful said they'd never have another hanging again. Better off done in Halifax. As for me, my spirit is still uneasy. If you come up to my property, you can stand here in the foundation of my home, take a walk through the trees, feel the tangle of the rope around your neck, and if you're really brave, head on down to Brown Brook Ravine. It's a good fishing spot, but nobody goes there at night. You see, when they tried to put my body back together after the fire, my arms and legs were missing. Some say Bill threw them in the ravine. God rest my soul.